Hey guys, Drifter here. For once, I have a good news update for you about both my health and this YouTube channel. I've been a lot of doom and gloom lately. I've been down and out, but some things are finally turning around and looking good, and I wanted to share that with you today in a little vloggy face-to-face style update. So today's video is going to be in two parts. Part one is just a basic health update, which is going to be good news, and part two is about the future of this channel, about in-depth Call of Duty content in general, and that one's going to be a little bit more complicated, but overall also good news. So let's jump right into the health. The short version is that I am almost well. I think I'm at the hump or maybe over the hump and finally getting better, recovering, going back to normal. I got my hormones balanced, testosterone, estrogen, all these different like hormones that were all screwed up. Those are balanced. They're doing good. The longer they stay balanced, the more normal I feel as my body recovers. The back that I managed to re-injure like a clown on my vacation is actually trending pretty well and almost better. So I have a super old back injury. It flares up on occasion. Due to the hormones, I lost a lot of muscle mass, including back muscles, and managed to re-hurt it. So it took a little bit to build those muscles back up and to do some therapies and get the spine moving back in the right place. And it's not well, but it's going really good. I'm very happy with how it's going, and I think it will be well in a matter of weeks, if not just maybe one whole month. Crazy, right? And then the biggest update, the most insane one, the one that's kept me down and out the worst, is these hands. You may have seen an update a while back where I had braces on one or both hands, or said that I couldn't use them or don't use them very much, and for no discernible reason why. There was no diagnosis. We couldn't figure it out, but we did get a diagnosis and the treatment's going really well. The short version is I have something called thoracic outlet syndrome, and that means that there's a cluster of nerves and arteries and veins that come down your neck, and they go through your shoulder and various parts of the back of your arm or whatnot, and then down your arm to your hands. Well, my hands started tingling and getting weak and doing weird things. I thought it was carpal tunnel. We looked into a bunch of stuff. We even looked into thoracic outlet syndrome, and it didn't really match. But after a lot of trial and error, we actually found that one of my blood vessels was getting pinched by my muscles and or bones in the nerve cluster. The nerves were getting pinched as well, but not quite as badly. The bigger issue I was experiencing is that I just didn't have enough blood in my hands, so they were always cold, they were weak, everything was kind of going wrong. It would take forever for them to heal. And the way that everything's being fixed so far is basically just physical therapy. Metric boatloads of stretching, various exercises, manual manipulations. I had some lady dig her fingers, somehow it didn't penetrate me, but skin over the backside of my shoulder blade and touch something that was like a knot, just loosened that blood right up and just felt tremendously better. So that's going really well. I've got left hand here back. I would say left hand is at least 80 to 85% strength, if not 100. It's doing really good. Right hand was doing similarly as good. Unfortunately, I went really hard earlier this week playing Vanguard for a couple of hours and then editing a ton of videos and doing a bunch of other stuff. And right hand is now a little bit on the owie boo-boo side. I still have a good range of motion and I can still play. The problem is I just can't play for like a long period of time. These two little fingies here have a tendency to get sore. But unlike in the past when my thumb and finger and pointer finger would get sore, trigger finger, it actually heals now. In the past, it just kind of like didn't heal. It would just get hurt and stay that way for like a month. Now I can rest it a day or two and it's coming back. And it's honestly trending toward fully well. So even though Call of Duty Vanguard just launched, even though this is the time to get in and grind and go hard with videos and hype, I'm really just not going to do that. I'm not going to play that much. I'm not going to go that hard because I believe if I rest this hand for another maybe 2 weeks tops, it's going to go back to being fully normal and I'll be back in it as much as I want. If I push it right now, I don't even know what the consequences should be. So the health is doing really good. My 3 major problems are all trending super well. None of them are perfect or fixed yet, but they're all going really, really good. And oh my God, having that sort of momentum is just awesome. You have no idea how hard it's been the last 8 or 9 months of just downward spiraling, worse, 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 doom and gloom, ooh, woo, I feel sad kind of crap. It feels good to be a little bit more normal again. The second part of this update almost has 2 parts in and of itself. It's about what happened to my content during my downtime, and what's going to happen in the future, because I don't think it's going to be easy for me to come back and just do the same old things again and step right back in. So I was kind of involuntarily unmade. One of the things about YouTube is that you have lots of competitors. I used to be the only person in my niche. Now there's like 4 guys that do stats and stuff like that. And algorithms reward you for very frequent posts, and the longer you take off, the less reward you get in most cases. So I was given an involuntarily vacation, if you want to call it that. I got so laid up, I pretty much couldn't work. There was very little content on this channel, even less content in the way of guides and COD stats and stuff like that, and news. And to be honest with you, I'm almost completely out of the loop. I don't know very many of the stats for the guns right now. I'm not testing them as actively as I should be. I'm not even up to date on the content and map packs and Warzone goings on. I just got completely taken out of the Call of Duty reality for a while. And when that happened, I still had to find a way to pay my bills, to take care of my family, to live my life and do things. I'm a sole income provider, so when I don't work, it's bad for everybody. In my darkest hours, I found some alternative means of content that worked well enough to keep everything going, and it actually turned out to be quite profitable. I somehow ended up making more money while I was so sick I'm bedridden 18 hours a day than when I was actually working hard. And I think it's like they say, necessity is the mother of all invention. Well, there was a necessity to do different things, and I just had to do them, and I'm doing really well financially right now. Let's just pray that continues. I've made some smart choices, some good investments. I've built some automated things, some side businesses, and it's all going really, really well. So I'm very happy about that. And I've also been putting out a metric ton of content on Twitter. For those of you that don't follow me on Twitter, I would highly encourage you to do that. That's one of the most important mixes in my overall social media strategy. I think I put out 8 to 15 Twitter videos a day, usually short form, ranging anywhere from like classic COD stuff and little bait tweets to news to dog videos, food reviews, all sorts of fun stuff. It's a little more personal. You can check out the Discord community too. There's a whole thriving community there that's doing well despite my absence more recently. Twitch, unfortunately, that one's rip at the moment. I haven't been able to stream because I can't do stuff for very long. But the point is that it was necessary for me to learn to do different things, and I learned to do those things, and I am now, in a sense, independent of Call of Duty and independent of YouTube Call of Duty if I want to be. I don't think I want to be yet, but that's an option for me. And since I am doing really well right now, what I decided to do is to hire additional staff to work with me here on this channel to make more content, specifically the Call of Duty content. I brought a couple of other people on board to help me grind out guns, to unlock attachments, to test stuff for in-depth, record little bits of gameplay. There's the same editors and thumbnail makers you know and love. Hayden and Kubi are still here. Hayden actually, for the more recently, has been editing videos in my style, like editing videos to make it look like I had edited them, which, since he's a fantastic editor and I'm a clown, is kind of like hiring a fancy artist and telling them to draw like a child, but he managed to do it fantastically. Kubi's going to be on board as well, but we're probably going to be doing a lot more together, also with the additional staff for Twitter and for YouTube content. So what that means is that with the additional assistance on top of the editor and the thumbnail maker, content should continue to flow. I should be able to continue to do in-depth episodes this year. I think you're going to see a lot more in-depth shorts like the Lapa SMG, where we put the stats on the screen, we get the gameplay going. Some of these will have commentary, some won't, but we'll hit, for a lot of the weapons, we'll just hit the high points and keep moving. The longer in-depth reviews are going to be more specific to certain weapons that I think are very good, ones that, you know, deserve a whole lot of attention. So we'll be doing that as well. And I also have a plan for some other videos, some weirder kind of content. I'm going to look at my board right now, and I have unboxing Pokemon cards from 6th grade, which is almost 20 years ago now. I have top 3 furry anime, an analysis of Sky High, and there's another cannabis video coming out in the future, kind of like the weed tour I did there. So we're going to have a little bit more of that stuff going on. And I'm rambling. I'm so rambling. Can you not tell that I feel so much I'm not going to curse, it'll hurt my monetization, effing better than I did before. Things are looking good. The health should continue to get better. And with the additional help on the channel, the content should continue to flow, not just here, but on the Shorts channel and on Twitter and everywhere else as well. And I hope that you follow me on the other socials. I hope that you stick around here. And I hope that this crazy cockamamie kind of plan that I'm putting together works, because I've never in my life attempted to be a boss. I've never tried to manage that many people or be on top of that many things. But I think it's time. I think it's necessary now for me to do that. And hopefully the end result is just better content for all of us here. If you enjoyed this little update, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. Drifter out.